Hello, today we are gonna read about variables and data types. So let's just start. Okay, so first of all, we will see how to open a Python ideally. For this purpose, I'm going to search here. I will just write Python and it will show me the results for Python ideally. I will just open it, click on it, and it will open in a bit. As you can see, it is open. We will gonna try all our programs in here, and this is the way to open it. Okay, so let's get started. So most of the times we will work with strings and numbers. So let's see how these work in Python. So first of all, we will look into the numbers. So there are three types of numbers in Python, which are integers, short form int, float, and complex. So we will see int and float here, and we will dig into complex later. So for the int is a whole number. It is a whole number. It can be negative or positive. For example, 5, 6, -8, -9. These are all the integers. Okay. So next is float. So floats are decimals. It means they are have points in between them, such as it can also be negative and positive, by the way. And the example is 4.0, -4.0, 6.0, -6.0, 7.5, -7.5. These are all the floats. Okay, so we can what we can do with numbers. As you already know, we can do calculations with numbers. Okay, so let's see how we are going to do in here. So okay, if I will write 3 plus 4, it will give me the results just like we do in the on the calculators. Alright, if I will do 9 plus 8, it will give me the results. Now play with negative numbers. So it will give us -70. See, now let's try the some floats. 4.5 plus 7.8. Sorry, I have put the wrong sign. So it is 12.3. Okay, now try that negative number plus 9. We can do that. And if we try 5 plus 9, it gives even. If we do 9 multiplied by 8, it will give us the results. So we can do all the calculations basically in here. We can do addition, we can do multiplication, we can do subtraction, we can do division, and most importantly, we can do another operation, which is remainder. So what is remainder? When we divide a number, and if it is not fully divided, we get a remainder value. Okay, so let's just take into an example. If I divide 5 by 4, it gives us in decimal number 1.25. But if we divide it and we want to get the remainder out of it, we will use the mod operator, which is a percentage sign. See, here is our modulus operator. It will give us the remainder, which is 1. Okay, and if the number is completely divided, then it will give us the result 0. So 4 mod by 2. Since 4 is fully divided on 2, so we will get 0 because there is no remainder. Okay, so this is how the mod operator works. We usually use mod operator to know the values if the value is even or odd. So for the even value, if we got a remainder 0, then we will say it is a even number. And if we get a value which is 1, remainder, if we get a remainder which is 1, then we will say it is a odd number, because the numbers which are fully divided on 2 are the even numbers, and the numbers which are not fully divided on 2 are the odd numbers. Okay, so to check if a number is even or odd, let's try. And remember one thing, when we are going to check whether a number is even or odd, we have always divided it by 2. So 7 mod by 2. So 7 is a odd number, that is why we got 1. If 6 mod by 2, we got 0 because 6 is a even number. So yes, this is how it's work. Similarly, we can get quotient values. So quotient is basically the result of division. Okay, so the value which is we get from dividing. Okay, so for this we will use double slashes. So 5 double slashes 2. So 2 2's the 4. So we will get the quotient 2. Okay, and if we have 75 3. So you get the quotient 25 because 25 multiplied by 3 equals to 75. So yes, this is how we get the quotient values in Python by using double slashes. Okay, so you have to remember that when we use one slash it will divide, and if we use double slashes we will get the quotient value. Okay, so now there is one important thing. The important thing is that we have the order of operations. If we have multiple operations in one statement, how the statements will be calculated? Let's just say 8 multiplied by 4 divided by 3 plus 5 and minus 2. So we have got the operators in here. So how this will start working, whether we will first do the multiplication or division or addition or subtraction. For this we have a mathematical rule which is called Pemdas. Okay, I just write in here so you can see it is called Pemdas. P stands for parenthesis and E stands for exponents, D stands for, M stands for multiplication, D stands for division, A stands for addition, and S stands for subtraction. So I will write again another value 2 multiplied by, and I will also use the parenthesis plus 1 minus 5 multiplied by 3. Okay, that's enough. Okay, so first, according to the Pemdas rule, we have to solve the parenthesis. So first of all, we will go in the parenthesis. In the parenthesis, we also get multiple operators. So according to Pemdas rule, first of all, we will do the multiplication. So doing the multiplication, 5 multiplied by 3 gives us 15. Okay, so after that we have to do the addition. So 9 plus 1 equals to 10. So 10 minus 15 will give us minus 5, and when minus 5 will be multiplied by 2, it will give us minus 10. So let's see if Python give us the same. Yes, it gives us minus 10. Okay, so this is how the order of operation work. Okay, if I got 24 plus 6 divided by 3 multiplied by 5 multiplied by 8 minus 9. So in this, according to the Pemdas rule, first of all we will do the division, after that we will do the multiplication, after that we will do addition, and then subtraction. So we got 95. Okay, so this is how things work. So let's move on to, I hope you have understand it, so let's move on to the next one. Okay, so next is the number type conversion. Okay, so Python has built-in methods for converting one type of number to another. For example, we can just convert integer to floats. Okay, we just don't need to write anything, it will automatically convert it. Okay, for this, I will just have to do this. Sorry, I will write float, and then I will give any number, it will be converted into the float. Okay, similarly, if I take the integer and then I will write 4.5, it will be converted into the integers. Okay, so this is how the numbers are automatically converted into one type to another if we need that. Okay, so why we need that basically? Okay, so why we need that, you can, as you can see up there, when we do the floats with integer, it has just worked fine, and we got the fine results. But why we do convert them? Because sometimes when we get input from user, when we get input from user, it is into the string format. It is in the string format. That is why we have to convert it into the integers to do the calculation on it. Okay, so from the input we got something like, sorry, something like this. Now we just cannot do anything with this 5 if it is in double quotation marks. It is not considered as a number, it is considered as a string. So if we want it to be a number, we have to convert it into the integer first. So it is converted now in integer, and now we can use it and do the calculation on it. So if I give you an example, double quotation 5 plus 5, it will not just, it will give us the error because the double quotation is the string and it will not work. If I convert it into the integer and now do this, now it will give us the result because we have converted it into the number. Now we can do calculation on it, otherwise it will give us the error. As you can see, we have not converted string into the integer. Okay, I hope you have understand it. So let's move to the next. So next we have built-in math function. So Python provides us some built-in math function. We can just use them and we got the result. First of all, we have an absolute function which will convert any value to absolute number. For this we have ABS, short form of absolute. Then we will give the number. It will give us the absolute value. ABS minus 5. So we get the absolute value. So this is how we get the absolute value in Python. After that, we have another ceil function which will basically do the round up our number. Okay, so we have got round up and also we can do the rounding down, but the ceil function is used for rounding up. But first, before using the ceil function, we have to import the math library. Okay, so in math library we have the function for ceil. Only when we import the math library, then we can use the ceil function. Otherwise we will get the error that the function is not defined. Okay, so now we have imported the imported the library. We can use it, but we have also write the math dot. We have to tell it that this ceil function is defined into the math library. Okay, so it will round up. So rounding up will give us result 10. Math dot ceil and minus 9.7. It has again round up. Okay, for the rounding down we have the function floor. Okay, we have the function float. Again, because it is the maths function, we have to tell it that it is in defined in maths library. So we will write math dot ceil. Sorry, math dot float. And when we write 3.9, it will round down. Okay, so it has round down. It has a round down to 3. Okay, let's just use another number which is 33.5. Again round down. Okay, if we have to round up the number, we will use the ceil function of maths, and when we have to round down the number, we will use a floor function of maths. After that we have sqrt function. Okay, sqrt, for the sqrt we have the short form sqrt. Again, sorry, we have to tell it is in the maths library. We have to write math dot. Dot means we have this function in math library. Okay, so math dot sqrt, and when we write 4, it will give us the sqrt of 4. Okay, we got the 2.0. Math dot sqrt, then 64, we will get 8. Okay, so this is the sqrt function. Okay, so then we have a random function. Random is basically a function which is used to generate a random number between any range. So for using the random function, we have to import the random library. Yes, we have got a random library which defined all the random function in it. Okay, so we have imported the random. Now we will just use a random. Again, we have to write that this function is part of a random library. Random dot random. Okay, so this random function will give us the number between 0 and 1. Okay, between 0 and 1. It will give us any number which is between 0 and 1. Random dot random, again, it will give us another random number. It will not give you the same number again. Okay, it will generate the random number. So this random function will only generate the numbers between 0 and 1. What if we want another range? Okay, so what if we want another range? Yes, if we want this, we have to use another function which is called randint. It will generate numbers between the given range, and the range will give by us. Okay, so let's just use it, random dot randint. Now we have to give the range, and the range is between, we can give the 1 and 10. Okay, so we have got 1, oh sorry, 8. Now I will write again this, and the same function will generate another number, 1 and 10. You see, we have got 7. Each time it will generate a random number. Okay, so this is how the randint function work. Okay, so after that we have some important issue here to discuss, which is a syntax error. Basically, the syntax error is a is something when we mess with language rules. We got this error when we mess with language rule. So let's take an example: 4 into 9. We cannot just do that. If we have to write 4 into 9, and yes, in mathematics it will simply multiply 9 by 4. Okay, but in Python we have, if we have to do it, we have to write the multiplication sign in between them. Okay, let's just omit it. And yes, we have an error that integer object is not callable. Basically, Python thinks it is a function, but it is not. That is why it has given us a syntax error. Now we have write it this way. Now you see it is multiplied. Okay, so basically Python just give us the description why we got an error. Okay, so we have to just look into the error, and we will see that why the error is and where it is coming from. If I will just write I am cool. Okay, so this is another invalid syntax. We have just write a string without any double quotation marks. Okay, so if I have to write it correctly, we have to write it in this way. Okay, now you can see if we do not do it right way, it will give us error, invalid syntax. Okay, so this is how these things work. Okay, I hope you have understand this. We will move on to the next one.